I record the sessions, but sorry, I forgot to do that in the start. I apologize. Okay, so like I said, this looks like that is actually our brain, and this is how the information is linked in our brain. So this kind of thing that is, so you see the difference between B and A. So there seem to be more links to the information in our brain in A than in B. So that happened actually over weeks and sometimes months, different between a person and another. And this is called memory consolidation. And mostly it happened during your sleep. So your night sleep is very, very important in consolidating the information inside your memory. When you first study information, there is a lot of noise around that information in your brain. To consolidate the information and to make it clear and to really actually understand the information properly, it takes time. It's not from the first time that you read the information you will understand it 100%, especially if it is a difficult information or a difficult subject. So it is fine that you keep studying and you only achieve 10 or 20% of understanding every time you study. That is normal. The brain takes time to digest information and to consolidate the information that you study. So, but again, what is most important for us? Good sleep. This is the most important thing for us. And one more thing is, I would like to tell you, if you only love and care about computer science, for example, and then you don't like geography or history, so you focus only on reading information about tech and technology and so on. So I wouldn't say that this is a good practice. The brain actually benefit from every single information that you read or study. So even though there is no direct information between computer science and history, geography, and even the typical news, but actually that help improve your brain ability to solve problems. So the brainstorming and creativity is actually improved a lot, and this is proven by research. So people make a research and see the people who read more actually are very good in brainstorming and creativity, and they are able to find good solutions for problems compared to people who only read on their specific subjects. So you only read about computer science if you only love that. That will not help you. So don't think that because you want to be a computer programmer, for example, or even, for example, a newscaster, just another example, so it means that computer science will not help you. Actually, every information that is that you study or read will help your brain in a way or another. It will help strengthen the connections between your brain. But the point here, if you only watch TikTok and useless videos, definitely rubbish in, rubbish out. So don't fill your brain with useless information because that will not help you on the long run. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. May I know how long you sleep every night?
I think around 7 to 8 hours.
That's perfect. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to explain to you about brain is actually something about the way our brain think and the mode that we put our brain in. There is two modes that we can put our brain in. One we control and we know very well, and the second one is actually hidden and only smart people learn about it and use it. So currently, when you are listening to me, your brain is working on a focus mode of thinking. So the focus mode, you are engaged with me, you are listening to me, and you are trying to catch all the information that I'm passing to you. But there is another mode. This is called diffuse thinking mode, and there is condition that can make you actually somehow activate that kind of mode in your brain. So this kind of mode only is activated when you are relaxed, because this mode, if you maybe you experienced that. So let me say it this way. And maybe you are somebody taking shower, or just walking beside the beach, or sitting in front of the sea, and then he is not thinking about anything, and then he will feel that there is a rush of information or ideas that keep coming to his brain about either a problem that he faced before he couldn't find solution for, or a new creative idea. So this kind of things that happen to you actually because you put your brain in the diffuse thinking mode, which is you are relaxing, you're not doing anything, you're just thinking about nothing, just closing your eye and relaxing. That put your brain in the diffuse thinking mode. So if you face a problem in mathematics or even in computer programming, so my advice to you, don't do like me when I never learned about that information before. So I used to stick to the code and try to take it with a challenge, as a personal challenge to me, and that I must really fix the code before I go up from the computer. So that doesn't really work. In practice, if you face a difficulty and you stay for 20 or 30 minutes that you cannot solve a problem, just leave it out and go do something else, or even study a totally different subject. And then later, after 1 or 2 hours, you can just come back and visit that original problem. And definitely, you will be coming with different ideas or options to solve that problem. That is truly proven, and that will help you. If you are stuck, either you go do something relaxing, close your eye and think about nothing, or even go walk, do some walking, or even walk beside the sea, or sit beside the sea, go take shower. So do something that make you relax. That will help you a lot. Did I make myself clear?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever hear about diffuse thinking mode before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay. Now, yeah. So let me speak about typical classes. So for every student that I have, I typically create a blog post for him that I store all the class resources. So for every class, there is a class recording and there is a slide, sometimes a code that I teach you during the class. So I share with you a summary of the class typically, and all the class recording for every class. So this is updated between 36 hours to 48 hours after every class, because the class recordings sometimes need to be converted and uploaded. So that takes some time. And typically also all the slides are shared, and links of the slides are shared also on the same post. So typically you're able to refer back to any class that you took after 1 or 2 months here by date, and then of course by summaries of the class, and by titles of the videos of the class, of the recording. So typically every 30 minutes you have a recording. So we don't record if you take 1 hour, for example, or 1 hour and a half. This means that you will have almost 3 recorded parts of the class. So you can easily refer to them. You can easily go to a single video of them. No need to search for in 1 hour and a half a video to actually reach something there or information. Files and slides is according to our class. So whatever we take, I will pass to you, either in coding or exercises. Exercises will be actually separated, put in a separate section. And so for every class, you must solve an exercise. So the way I achieved or make my students excel is by solving exercises during the class. I must see how you actually solve information, how your brain works, so I can customize a teaching way for you. Every student have his way of taking information inside his brain, and that differs from one student to another. So for me to be able to understand you, Of course, it takes 1 or 2 classes to be able to really dig deeper inside how you think and how you really excel, or how you really perform very well. So to understand that, I need to give you exercises. Sometimes it's a lot, but of course, I wouldn't push too hard on that. But when you have exercises, and when you solve also exercises with me here, and following that, I can guarantee that you would really have a high mark. That happens with not only with you, that happened with all my students before. Typically, not every formula that I use with the students work with every student, so I need to customize that a little bit between different students. But I can see that you are somehow smart enough to understand. So I would say, like I said, for every video that you have, there will be a title and a description, not a detailed description, but just a description that can tell you what we really studied during that class. Typically, if we're using Java, I think this is not the case yet. You're not really studying Java yet, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with the pseudocode, typically, they write it. So there is some non-official compilers or interpreters for pseudocode, but this is not official. So most of the time, if you write pseudocode, you will have to write it in a paper. So that is how we write it. So just a normal notepad will be just enough to write pseudocode. Okay. So if we use Java later, then typically with all my students, I use Replit. Did you use it before, or did you hear about it?
No.
So this Replit, actually, this is an online interpreter. It can work with Java, with Python, with many different languages. We write a code there, and when we execute it online, and then if I give you an exercise that you need to solve, you're able to share that exercise with me by passing me a link of the file that you use to solve your exercise. And this is how I pass you code, and how you pass me code back using links. Okay, so that is the process of solving exercises. So now let us have a look at pseudocode. So do you know what is the purpose of a pseudocode in the first place?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. So did you study pseudocode so far?
Yes, in 11th grade we've done pseudocode.
Okay. So you know that pseudocode is closer to English language than to any programming language. So we use it to express algorithms or way to solve problems without writing a language specific keywords. So it is more closer to the English than to a programming language. And if a person managed to understand the pseudocode, he is able to translate that pseudocode easily to any programming language, because it's very simple and clear. It's not complicated like other programming language. And there is no, since there is no compiler, so if you do a mistake here and there, didn't put a specific space here and there, then it is actually accepted and tolerated. But in a programming language like Java or Python, that will cause an error to your code, and you might spend maybe 20 or 30 minutes just trying to solve a small problem. So pseudocode, you will never face this kind of problem. So if you manage to figure out that you can solve a problem in this way, so a space that is increased here and there will not cause a problem to the understanding of your method. And this is also used on a professional way, because in a team of programmers, not all the people actually understand about the same language. Some people understand Python, another team members understand Java only. So when they use pseudocode, it's a common language that all of them can understand actually. Okay, so let me understand from you. Did you learn about modulus before in pseudocode? Sorry, I didn't.
Yes, we have.
Okay, do you know?
Yes, we have.
Okay, perfect. So if I show you, okay, what about the integer division?
Yes, even diff, we've done this.
Okay, that's good. So may I know, do you understand this code and what it does?
I've seen codes like this, but then I don't really understand it.
Oh, really? Okay, no problem. So you didn't see a while loop before.
No, I have.
Okay, so typically a while loop is a way to, so you don't understand even what the loop does, right?
I understand that it keeps recurring the code till it ends, but that's
That's
only
all
what
what
I
you know.
understand.
Okay, okay. So, okay, yeah, that is okay. No need to worry about that. So, do you know what the meaning of variable is?
Yes.
Okay, so if I say count is a variable, and then I put 0 in count, do you understand this line of code?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand we always assign the thing on the right side to the thing on the left side. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you understand deeply how what is a variable?
So a variable is something that's not constant. It
O-
keeps changing.
okay, fine. So a variable is a place that we reserve in the memory of the computer, and this place is designed or assigned to carry certain information. The information can vary, can be an integer. Do you know what the meaning an integer?
An integer.
Yes. Do you know what the mean int, like that? And what is, so we are not talking about mass, we're talking about integers in the concept of programming language, and string, and um, and real, and character. Did you hear about that before?
No.
So an integer is actually a kind of number that doesn't have any decimal point. It can be negative number, and it can be also a positive number, like that. Okay, so real is actually numbers that have a decimal point. So for example, 9.8. Character is just only a single character, like that. A string is just a text that is in double, always between double quotation. So I can write your name like that, and this is a kind of string. So my variables can actually be of type integer, or type string, or real, or character. So why we need to actually differentiate between different type of variables? Because in the memory we reserve a place based on the data type. So this is all called data types. You didn't study about data types before?
I think in the starting of 11th grade, yes.
Okay. So, but that is not so clearly important now, but that if you understand the concept, um, it will be helpful when you move on to Java. So this is just, I mean, it is not so important now because the way that we use pseudocode in IP is different from other syllabus like Cambridge. Cambridge, they really have to understand very well what is integer, what is string, what is real, because they have to define variables using that. But in IP, they are not very concerned about defining data types of variables. So if it is just enough that you can say count is a variable, and I'm assigning or putting 0 inside count. So I can put 0 or I can put 10. In such a case, we want to put 0 inside the count. So In a loop like that, the loop typically loops while a condition is true. And where is the condition? Here is the condition. So loop while, and this is a condition. We can control the condition as we want. So in this case, he is telling loop while count is less than 15. Okay, if we have our count, now it is 0. 0 is less than 15 or not?
Yeah.
It is, right? So it means that this condition evaluate to true. It is true. Do you know what the meaning true and false?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if this condition evaluate to true, it means that we will execute or run the condition or the statement inside. What is the statement? It is saying count equal count plus 1. Do you understand that, what it does?
Does it keep adding?
Yes, exactly. So Amber, let me just tell you first this. I am not here to test you. I'm only here to help you. I'm not the examiner. I am, consider me your friend. Of course, typically the student is not friend to the teacher. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you should never be shy to tell me that you don't understand anything. If I understand your level, I'm able to push you forward and help you. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so what we say here, count equal count plus 1, which means that if count is 0 now, so we say count like that equal 0 plus 1. So it means that we will assign 1 to count. So now count is no longer 0. We take 1, we store it in the memory address or the memory reserved for the count. So if we have our RAM like that, this is our RAM. Do you know what's the meaning of RAM or a memory?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have a place that is reserved for count. Previously it was 0 and now it is carrying 1. So we move again and check the condition of the loop. The count less than 15 now or not? Now count equal 1. 1 is less than 15 or not? True or false?
Yes, that's true.
Perfect. So it means that we will continue executing that condition, which is count equal count plus 1. So if count is previously 1, okay, so 1 plus 1 equal 2. Am I right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so we move again to check the condition. Is it the condition is still true? Is 2 less than 15 or not? So it's definitely is sure. Okay, so it means that we will continue adding. So count equal what now? Equal 2 plus 1. Am I right? So we end up 3. And if we look at the memory, we will find that in the memory, now we have 3 stored in count. Okay, so we will continue that until we reach a condition which is 14. When we reach a count equal 14, so we will check 14 is less than 15. It is true or false?
True.
Okay, so if I remove here, I put 14 inside. So when we increment count equal count plus 1, what will be inside count now?
14.
14 plus 1. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right? Okay, so it means now it becomes 15. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it becomes 15, we go and check the condition. Is 15, because count now become 15. So 15 is less than 15. Is that correct? True or false?
It's equal to 15, so
it's false. Count is no longer smaller than 15. It is equal 15. Am I right? So it means that this condition now will evaluate to false. So if it evaluates to false, it means to me that we will no longer execute that command and we will end the loop. End the loop means that this condition turns to false and then this loop ends. Did you understand anything from what I said? Is it clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do I need to speed up the way that I explain, or my speed is okay to you?
No, I think for now this is okay.
Okay, good. So let me move to the next. So there is another type of loops that actually is slightly different from while. So while have a condition that always need to check, but this kind of loop that we use here works in a different way. So it say a loop while count from 0 to 5. So it's not going to check any condition here at all, but it's actually going to say, I'm going to give values to count every time I run this loop. I will give a value to count. The first value that I'm going to give to count is 0. Why I say like that? Because he say start from 0. So the largest value that count is going to take is actually 5. So it means that after we run here, how many times we will end up with count equal 5. So we will also put count equal 1. We will also put count equal 2 and 3 and 4 until we reach 5. So, but how is this going to happen? So every time the loop will run, actually, we will have a different values from count. So first time we run here now, at the moment, we will actually have count equal 0. So we'll start with count equal 0. And then we start to look here, sum equals sum plus count. So typically, if you do like that, we have to initialize some variable to 0 typically. So we want to sum something. So we want to add a new some numbers. Okay. So typically that, of course, we will see more detailed examples, but this is only just to explain how this kind of loop works. And then we will go into more examples and build up on our knowledge. So, but the point here is that the demo class is about to finish. We only have less than 1 minute. Let me try to continue that on the next class. Did you understand anything from me so far?
Yes, I think I understood a lot, like more than what I've understood before.
Okay, so let me see how we can continue, and then we can communicate on the WhatsApp, okay?
All right.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.